you're dropped into this world. The like, beginning story of this game is that monsters have been forced underground, and you're a human who falls into a hole, like a human child who falls into a hole. And from the very beginning of the game, you get to choose how you interact with the world, and depending on the choice that you make, it vastly changes the way that every single person in the game interacts with you. It employs lots of different mechanics, like different fights that you have are all completely different while employing like the same elements. The mechanics are always different, and I just think it's so fascinating. It makes you really think about who you are in the game, like how you want to live your life as this character. It's interesting.
I mean, I found that particular aspect of it to be kind of unattractive in many ways. The whole idea of fight it or spare it. But that wasn't what interested me about it. The fact that you can spare every monster or kill every monster isn't the cool thing to me. It's the desire that the game sort of evokes in me to take a certain action, not because it's the optimal way to do it, or because I want a certain outcome, because I actually don't have the desire to hurt these things. Like,
yeah.
It's a weird reversal in the case that monsters in that game are much weaker than you as a human. Like, monsters are not the antagonist. You kind of are, and yet, you go into the game not knowing that, really, but you have the choice to not be. And what really interested me about it was different ways in which it allowed you to figure out how to befriend monsters, and how, strangely enough, through this little bullet hell minigame, they actually managed to represent so many different ideas. It's like, this guy is throwing emotions at me as bullets. These are these are feel bullets, is what they are. And the game always does things that surprise me. Like, it's constantly surprising me. I'm not fully done with it yet. I think I'm pretty close to the end. It's never bored me, really, with the exception of every now and again there's a couple of many random encounters. Because, once you encounter the same creature and you figure out how to spare it, it becomes procedural.
Doing it over and over again is so fun.
It's not, that is not fun. Yeah, that is, but thankfully there's not too much of that. Like, I think the pacing is, unless you deliberately run around the same area and over and over again, you are going to not run too much into that. But I love the way that the game is consistently subverting my expectations, both mechanically and in terms of what I expect from the characters, and they end up being completely different to how I originally expected them to be. They're full of surprises. They've got a lot of depth to them. The writing's really, really funny. I mean, it suits my sense of humor down to a fucking T.
It's so good.
Yeah, it manages to do the waltz around, I am the penguin of Tadoom thing without going overboard with it. That's a difficult balance to me.
It's a weird, like, it's an amazing experience. Like, it's hard to quantify, like, what I don't like about Undertale, because I think it's like one of those things like Doctor and Rocket. We're like, I don't know, it's just something, the experience, the story behind it, I love. I think the music is awesome. I think there's a lot to love in that game. Mechanically, it drives me crazy. Like, for some reason, I can't, like, it becomes a struggle, and the only thing keeping me going, it reminds me of Final Fantasy XI, where it's like, I just need to wait 12 hours to find a party in order to experience the story. With this game, it's like, all right, I need to go through all this awful BS of these random encounters. I know what this monster's problem is. Why do you keep figuring out what his fucking monster's problem is? It's the word. So, and just to get to the story, which is fundamentally really entertaining and like worth like the price of admission alone, but it's frustrating. Let's see. I can't get past how much I just like it.
I'm at a similar spot where I've enjoyed listening to people talk about Undertale more than I do play that game myself.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is actually a game you could watch, because I think a lot of the surprises come from the dialogue and things that are shown on screen. There are a couple of mechanical surprises that I really enjoyed. I love the way that the game has a flat-out disregard for its own rules. And like, things will just come out of the... for instance, with the little mini-game battle system, the game says, alright, you dodge bullets in this box, and here's the box. Except when we completely disrespect the box. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this shit's actually coming from over here now. And one of the first real examples of that is when you're attacked literally by tears, and the tears are coming from the eyes of the monster, which is up here. Instead of it just being a picture of the monster, and then the battle is here, the UI feels very moldable, like, and to me, like, the UI in a game establishes a set of rules which can't really be broken. Except Undertale breaks them all the fucking time. And every time it does it, it's fucking great. Like, when I'm like, oh shit, he's about to do a special attack. It's a fucking dog. Dog runs along the bottom of the screen, barks at you, and then runs away. And then the guy's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yay! You surprised me again! This was fun! You know?
The other thing from like an RPG aspect that I think is really powerful is the fact that it also acknowledges that you, the player, exist. That, like...
Yeah, that you are both the character and the person behind the screen.
You're existing in a world that can be reset, and they acknowledge that, and utilize that as such an important mechanic of the game. And I think that makes it feel all the more personal to you while you're playing it. You're just like, oh god.
There's definitely a lot of that to it. I mean, as I say, mechanically it doesn't do anything super complex, but it takes very traditional ideas and constantly fucks with you as the player in the best possible way.
Yeah, it's an experience. It's an experience that I would say it's one of those games that you have to start down playing it, and it might not be for you, but you feel like at least try it. Like, try because it's like one of those things that a lot of people a long time from now will be like, Undertale. And yeah, it's a game that challenges a lot of what you think about video games.
Yeah, it does. I think it's going to have an impact on the way that some games are developed in the future. I think in a similar way to the way I think Stanley Parable had a bit of an impact on some of the ideas that are coming in, games in the future. The idea of kind of breaking the fourth wall and subverting expectations. I think it will have influence. It'll be a game for impact, a game for change. What was that category that in the Game Awards? It'll be that. It'll be one of those.
Games for impact?
Games for impact, yeah. A couple of other RPGs that definitely are worth bringing up. I have to bring up the Community as just an incredible example of like that's in terms of like pure traditional computer role playing. That game is far and away the game that most personifies that in 2015, definitely. Really well put together. Great stories, great world, great original world. A lot of actual role playing that you can do. A lot of the traditional stuff that I think a lot of people enjoy from Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, etc. I don't what I played about Dungeon, I think. I mean, even though it's still early access, I mean...
That's not an RPG, though. Everybody's a game. Unless you establish, like, you as the person who's hiring
It's a
these
tactics
people.
RPG. Like, it's not a sort of... It's not a traditional RPG, but it is a tactics RPG. It's a battle RPG. I think it's probably the best way to describe it.
So would you say Sunless Sea?
RPG?
That's more of a roguelike,
Sunless
right?
Sea, I don't know if that's an RPG.
It's hard to say that Sunless Sea is an RPG because I don't think there's really all that many opportunities to roleplay in Sunless Sea. It's a very narratively focused roguelite. That's the way that I would kind of describe it. It's a weird genre melder. It's cool. I loved it.
Everyone's saying Shadowrun Hong Kong and Xenoblade are also games that I haven't played either. I could not tell you.
Pillars of Eternity, too. Did we mention that
I
yet?
just said
Yeah,
You just did, sorry.
Yeah. Danny, did you get a chance to play Xenoblade? Like, I'm not much of a console gamer, so I haven't touched it yet.
Yeah, and it's a Wii U game, so even folks who own consoles, a lot of them don't run that.
Yes.
There's been I didn't because it came out right around Game of the Year stuff and we had to pick our battles. But Peter Brown, our reviews editor, and Alexa in Korea here both played it, and it's in like it's one of Peter's favorite games of the year. And it seems like it's an incredible game that I wish was on more platforms so more people could get to play it. Apparently, about 30 hours in, when you get the mech, it basically like changes your perspective of scale and that world completely fundamentally. And like a lot of games are open world, this thing is like this huge sprawling planet which just goes on for ages and ages. Apparently you can play it if you didn't play the other game in the series.
Yeah.
It's an easy one to get into. Yeah, we gave it, I think it was either an 8 or 9 out of 10. And it seems to be, from people who have played it, it only came out a month ago, it's a long game. They seem to really enjoy it.
It's on my list of things to just play. I haven't.
Time, man. There's so many big games that came out this year. How the fuck do we even finish it usually?
Yeah.
Well, that's good though, right? It's been a terrific.
Yeah, Chad is very good at listing games that didn't come out in 2015. He needs to fucking learn what Google is.
Yeah, for real. There have been so many times where they've said one and I'm like, wait, did that come out this year? No, it did not.
The worst thing is people getting mad about it. It's like, why the fuck aren't you mentioning Wasteland 2? It's like, because it came out in 2014 and won an arbitrary
It was
2014.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
We're very much aware of what came out.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so I guess we can wrap this interview up with Fire, Deathmatch Jr., Jesse,
3.
Danny.